Hello and welcome back to another episode of Evil Kitty Music Presents. Thank you for coming back to what is, I believe, episode 16, and we're still rolling. We still got some content, so we're not dead yet. Today, I'm going to do something again different because that's what I do. I just keep doing different stuff. I give you free variety. That's about all I can offer you. I mean, there's other guitar channels out there that I just can't compete with. I mean, you got Rick Beato, who's got like 1 billion followers, and he's even parodied by a guy named Pat Finnerty, who's also awesome. And I'm not as funny as Pat Finnerty, so I don't have that to offer. And then there's guys like, I'm going to butcher his name, Michael Palisermo out in Baltimore. Great guitar player, likes to break down videos, not really my thing. Maybe I'll eventually get there because that's what they all do, but also an amazing player. And I don't have the musical library that he has in his head. And then, of course, there's Stevie T, right? Well, how do you compete with a Canadian? I mean, the guy's Canadian, right? And he's also a great shredder, and he was offered a job in Dragon Force. And when he can have guys like Herman Lee on his show, and Rick Beato can have guys like Phil X on his show. By the way, Phil, I've tried to get you. I tried to get you to reach out. I even did an episode on Powder. Powder, I even learned one of your songs. Did you go back and watch it? It's not bad. Not as good as you, but it's not bad. Go back and check it out, Phil, because we're still waiting for you to contact my brother so that he can do the live Powder DVD that everybody wants. And by everybody, I mean me. So please, Phil. Anyway, back to from the digression. Today, I'm going to get into a fun practice technique you can do. I think last couple episodes back, I mentioned the best way to practice is by doing pentatonic scales. Kidding again. It's a callback. It's not funny, but it's a callback. The best way is to do it, I told you, to play with people, practice with people better than you, make you get better. Don't always have the opportunity to do that, and I showed you some ways you can get around that. Another way to get better is just to keep playing. I think Eddie Van Halen said it the best.
Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm going to come looking for you if you don't.
So you can do it the boring way by just practicing scales and chords. And eventually, sometimes you have to do that stuff because you have to learn the fretboard. You have to learn the chords. Otherwise, you're not going to be a great guitar player. But to me, the more fun way to play is to play songs. And while we covered cover songs, pun intended, episodes back, I'm not recommending, again, doing a cover band, although you can. But what I'm saying is learning them as a method to practice and a fun way to do it. And an easy way to help you do that is by getting backing tracks for these covers that you can play over and just have fun on your own time and at your own level and at your own pace. One way I do that is if you go online and you look for something called MIDI files, M-I-D-I, and I'm going to show you. It's called free MIDI is what I generally type in, and then type in an artist. Since I'm preparing for the Janet Jackson World Tour, I thought I'd pick a song off her set list that I love, Black Cat. Once you get the MIDI file, at least with my computer on Mac, if you just double click it, it's going to open up in your recording software. And what you're going to get is individual tracks on MIDI instruments. It's going to sound a little video gamey. It's not going to sound great. They're not real instruments. And on this track, I did do a little editing. If I recall, it came with like 12 or 13 separate drum tracks with each drum programmed separately. So I combined them into one track, added a little extra cowbell because it's Black Cat. You got to have your cowbell. And I also changed some of the MIDI instruments, which you can do. Once you have the MIDI in, you can change it from an organ to a piano or whatnot. And I put in some more instruments that I like. And I switched the drums to Easy Drummer 2, which I use just for some more realistic drum tones. But with that being said, once you get the MIDI tracks, it sounds a little video gamey, and I'm going to show you that this is what the basic MIDI track sounds like. can kind of hear it. It's a little, doesn't sound real, but it doesn't need to, because you're just using it to practice anyway. And it's to help you, instead of just playing along with a metronome, you get to play along to a song that you're enjoying and get to learn. So whether it's Metallica or Slayer or whatever, I don't know if they have something as heavy as Obituary, but maybe they do. Look it up. I know they have like Ozzy and Pink Floyd and Guns N' Roses. There's tons and tons out there. You just got to find them and use them to your advantage. So today we're going to do Black Cat, which surprisingly is a pretty easy song. I'm not going to live up to some of the recordings of it out there. I mean, I remember when she was recording it, I think one of the original guitarist she used was Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, who, if you don't know him, he's off the charts amazing. And there's also a version with Vernon Reid. Great Vernon Reid story. For anyone who's on social media, I know I'm still on MySpace, but I also have a Facebook, which is about to become the next MySpace. Anyway, anybody on those kind of platforms know that a lot of times their algorithms will suggest to you friends that you should add. Well, a couple weeks ago, I was suggested to be friends with Vernon Reid. Don't know if we have any connections. I thought it was a kind of a strange request. I didn't go ahead and request him because I know he's a famous, busy person, and I doubt he knows me from Adam. But Vernon, if for some reason we have a connection and we should be friends, why don't you friend me? I will definitely accept that request. Vernon Reid is amazing. I grew up listening to Living Colour. I think there's even a clip of me and my brother mimicking some. Okay, that was embarrassing. But anywho, so here's my practicing to the MIDI file of Black Cat. other cool thing about these MIDI tracks is because they're MIDI tracks, you can go in to the, I guess they call it the keyboard view or whatnot, and you can actually see what the MIDI is playing. So if you're trying to figure out a part or figure out what key something's in, and you know a little bit about piano and know what notes you're looking at, you can actually see what the notes are and correct mistakes you might be making. Anyway, that's it for today's episode. I think hopefully you found a new fun way to practice without just busting out scales and such. Enjoy that. And if you did enjoy this, or you didn't enjoy it, but you're still watching anyway, like and subscribe. Ring the bell, which I don't know if I even have that on the icon, but whatever. Be notified when these come out again. You know you want to, because you know you love me, you love the content, and you definitely want to see if Cardboard Brittany gets freed. Until next time, rock on.